Now we're going to get into our final content session, which is the 8-figure sellers panel. These people own massively successful businesses. They're just coming up here to share with you. This is going to be, we've got a couple questions planned ourselves, but we want the rest of the time. We're going to have about 35 minutes planned for audience questions. So if you have questions you want to ask based on answers you hear them give, or you just have questions you want to ask in general, super successful Amazon sellers, feel free to come to the microphones. You can start as soon as we get started. We're going to have a couple questions, so it's going to be 10 minutes or so before we get to you. But feel free to come to the microphones as soon as you can. And so now we're going to get into the 8-figure sellers panel. So let's bring up our panelists. If you don't mind, let's just start off by just kind of name where you're from and when you started the business.
Eric Routman, Los Angeles, Amazon 2012, e-commerce 2005.
Okay.
David Paul Doyle, Ashland, Oregon, and Amazon Money Machines, 2012.
Brendan Morris, January 2014, and Orlando, California, or Orlando, Florida.
Steve Simonson, Seattle, Washington, online 1998, and Amazon about 2002.
We keep one down there.
Brandon Clark, Nashville, Tennessee, and Amazon was 2013, the end of 2013.
Awesome. So yeah, first of all, let's give them a huge hand for coming up here and doing this. All right, so what we'd like to do is we want to ask you a couple questions. We'll just go down the line, but then when we start getting to the audience questions, like whoever has a answer, just jump in there and grab a microphone. We don't need to go to everyone answers. So what we'd like to start off with is, you all have been super successful. You've all sold over $10 million a year on Amazon. You've done very well. Most of you haven't been doing this a crazy amount of time, so you've ramped up pretty quick. What do you think it is that, because not everyone gets there, even with the same amount of time, same amount of resources, what do you think it is that's made the biggest difference in your own business that's allowed you to scale faster and bigger and build a bigger business than most people doing this?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I mean, it's kind of the question, right? Like, how do you really take advantage of what you have? I think for me, one thing I know about myself, I'm very curious mindset. I always want to know how things work, and I want to try to figure it out. And I'm not afraid to try it and not really know how it's going to work. I think that's part of it. Like, that's a mindset more than anything else. Also, just the fact that I was just really committed. I knew I needed to do it. It was for my family, and I was just totally behind it. I know when AMM came out, I was probably the first one at 12 o'clock with my finger on the add to cart button because I was so convinced about it. From a product point of view, I think it's important to look at products that have buyer preference, that are something that you can differentiate. So you're not really selling anything that anybody else has done. We've customized products. Also, from the point of view of systems, if you're going to scale, we implemented systems very early on. Also, automation, we created software very early on. I think all those things kind of working in tandem is really the thing that's, I can say, has been part of their success.
Okay, cool. Sorry, DP.
For those of you who don't know, we were given these questions a few days ago, and I've been thinking about it because I really wanted to, add some value and really get clear myself. And so I wrote all these things down, but they were said probably 3 or 4 times today and numerous times over the last several days. But I want to repeat them to you specifically because so often we hear things from other people and we go, okay, that might be true. But if you didn't really take it in the first several times, know that take it in this last time, because for me, these really were the most important things that made a difference for me. And I think branding is one of them. It's been talked about a lot, but I really intentionally tried to create a brand from day one, thinking long term. And I wasn't good at it, but I kept focusing on it, month after month after month, trying to improve it. And I think it's one of the most important things that differentiated our product line. And also never giving up. I can't tell you, people would ask me for years, why I've been doing well, and I'd say I made more mistakes faster than anyone else. And I really believe that that's the truth. I had no idea what I was doing, and I feel like I've made every mistake possible, and I continue to do so. And that's a good thing, because you learn faster every single time you fall down or do something wrong. And so, and it's not easy. My business has gone like this every year. And so I just say, don't give up, don't get discouraged, and just keep getting back up. I'm also a freak for constant improvement. So I drive my employees crazy because I've literally changed packaging on one product 15 times. in 6 years. And it's like, it's never good enough, but I feel like these little tiny changes constantly have taken our brand to where it is today, and it drives people crazy who work for me, but I really think it's important. And then finally, just focus. I'm not advocating this, but I took that first course many years ago, and then I disappeared and just kept my head down. I didn't come to another course until last year. And I started coming because my knowledge was super stale, and I needed to keep learning. But really, execution is so important. You've learned so much. Just put your head down and just do it.
Awesome.
So I was going to come on stage and tell some tip or trick that is relevant today, but that always changes. And after Matt's talk about focus, so I thought about it a little bit more, and in order to sell anything online, it doesn't matter if it's Amazon or outside of Amazon, you really only need two things, and that's an authority figure and social proof. So Matt and Jason are obviously the authority figure here. And every single $100,000, $500,000, $1 million a month seller is the social proof. It's the proof that it actually works. And we all have it so easy because half the problem has been solved for us. Half the puzzle has been put together for us. And that is because Amazon has spent billions of dollars in years becoming the authority in online retail. So the only thing that's left is social proof, is reviews. So I thought about it a little bit more, and I've gone to many masterminds where everyone in the room does $1 million a month. And there is a common theme. And the common theme is that every single one had some sort of lever to pull or some sort of button to push. But the uncommon thing is that each lever or button was different. So it didn't matter if that $1 million seller was selling grocery items. They would hire a team to go out to all the farmers markets to hand out free products for reviews, 30, 40, 50 reviews. Or it was someone selling gaming equipment, mice and keyboard. They would scour Reddit for all the subreddits of all the gamers and offering free products for reviews. Or if it was the mom who thought of a baby product and says, you know what, I'm going to sit for 15 hours a day sending emails nonstop to every single mommy blogger out there inside the United States. So it doesn't matter if it's Facebook or if it's Twitter or if it's handing random products out in the middle of the street. You just need to find whatever that lever is or that button. And then once you find that, just keep pulling it, keep pulling it, keep pulling it, keep pressing it. And then sooner or later, Amazon is going to say that, no, that's against terms of service. And so then what you need to do is just find the next lever and keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it until Amazon comes right back around. So I would say that, yeah.
Cool.
Well, I have to say, I think they took all the good answers, but no, so I focus on strategy, system, and scale in my mind. I always have to know where I'm going. That's the strategy. The systems are like, how are we going to get it done, and automation and all the pieces we put in place, and then scale is people. And for me, people always comes back to relationships. And what that means to you guys is when you're hiring somebody, when you're meeting somebody, just figure out how you can help them, how you can improve, what's around them, their lives, their opportunities. And those relationships will always help you in the end, right? So I can't give you any better ROI than possibly the people beside you. Everybody beside you and around you, these are the people who can change your lives and make your lives better. And honestly, relationships are tangible, and they produce ROI long term and amazing friendships as well. So that is it feels intangible, but it really can be a tangible thing. So do the very best you can to make these relationships last long after this.
So they've already said, everything that needs to be said, but one thing I want to add to it is you got to be fearless, all right? Like, this is a scary thing. It's putting a lot of money. A lot of people that, they're using the last $5,000 on their credit card to buy the course. They got to buy inventory, all this. And it's a scary time. The terms of service changes, those things like that. You got to pivot. Those could be scary, but you got to be fearless. You got to be willing to pull the lever, like he said, and just keep pulling those levers until you get something to work. So you got to take action every day, but you got to take fearless action when you do it. So,
Cool. Awesome.
So, like you said, you guys haven't been selling for a terribly long amount of time compared to other businesses, but you have been around for a few years now. So if you were one of the newer people in this room or watching live stream, and you're starting out today from scratch, what would you do right now to start and try to grow your business to where it is today?
So number one, I'd follow the plan. Like the ASM course and all that, it's like a proven step-by-step formula. Everyone's gone through it. We have gone through every single module multiple times. And so I would put my head down, like he was saying, and just focus and go through it and take action daily. But
I brought one of my own employees with me to this conference, and I told him a few days ago, I said, every single thing that anyone says on the stage, just do exactly what they say. Don't change it. Don't do anything different. Just follow what they say, and I really believe that.
Yeah, I got to echo that. I mean, you need to have a solid framework to start with, and you need to focus on, can I make $1? Not can I make $1 million. You got to start with, can I make my first $1? And you got to put your head down and focus on that, and start with one product, get that product up and selling, get it up on Amazon if it is not on Amazon, get it moving. You can't get, if you're not in the game, you can't really do anything bigger than that. So I would say, just keep focused on the solid training that you got. Don't try to be too innovative just yet. That'll come later as you get more experience with this business.
Yeah, and I would just say very quickly that, first of all, you already have the training. Follow that. Just do that. But I would give a shout out to Matt. Honestly, that speech today is so important for you guys. Watch that every week for the next 10 weeks. Get focused. Understand the big picture. And I'm not even joking. That thing can really help you if you just follow the process. The rest of it, there's lots of things that you're going to put on your to-do list as a result of this. Make sure your do not do list or do later list is bigger than that to-do list. Focus, and again, Matt's presentation was something else, so you guys should play that back and back and back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say starting off, it would really be to emphasize picking the right product. And we all get blindsided by the millions of dollars or use the many tools that say, hey, this product's doing $150,000 a month, and I want that too. So definitely look at your budget. So if you have $5,000, it's a lot of money. So pick your product based upon your budget and really come up with a plan of like, okay, I'm gonna set these units aside for sales. I'm gonna set these units aside for giveaways. I'm gonna set these units aside for reviews. And really just be conscious of what you're doing and planning out. Don't rush into it too quickly. And then have enough inventory to take you along the way, even if it's just 10 sales a day or 20 sales a day, because sooner or later you're gonna have money velocity catch up to you. And at that point, you can roll out as many products as you want, but you have to get over that first product and that first inventory hump. And if you guys do that, you won't be discouraged if you have your first product as a failure. You will continue to push on because your first product was a success. So.
Cool. All right, so now we'll get to our audience questions, and we'll start over here.
Hi, my name is Dan, and I'm ASM 8, and I'm here in Orlando. So I just launched my first product 2 months ago in the fitness category, and I've been looking to find another product to add to my lineup, but the product that I found is in a completely separate category. It's in the baby category. So my question to you, I've heard a few different times from a few different sellers is it would be better to just open up a completely new seller account just for tax purposes. So my question is, would you recommend just keeping everything under just one seller account or open multiple different seller accounts and creating different brands on top of those seller accounts?
How well is your first product selling right now?
So it's not yet. So so what I have right now, it's weightlifting gloves, and it's not selling as well as I want it to. But I want to work the law of averages in my favor, and the only way that I can see that I can work the law of averages in my favor is if I have multiple products and focusing on the ones that do sell well.
Yeah, I think it's a balance of not getting too complex in the beginning, I think. Like, I don't think it's worth opening a second seller account when you don't have one that's making money yet. So I would say, if you're going to have multiple products, multiple brands in one seller account, I've got them. I know a lot of people have got them. I don't think it's a problem at all to do that. And then you just focus on the product. If the first one is starting to pick up, you focus your energy on that. If the new one that you're bringing in starts to really ramp up, focus on the winning racehorse, like I was saying before. You got to get to ride the one that's doing the best and get the results from that first.
So you're recommending just stay with the seller account that I have right now and then just add another brand on top of what I have already in the same seller account, correct?
Yeah, it's not a problem. You just keep it inside the same seller account.
Okay.
Great.
I would just say add to that. Yeah, keep it in the same seller account, but really be conscious of why it failed. You know, was it a bad product, bad competition? You couldn't rank it. Like really identify what went wrong so you don't make the same mistake again.
All right.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
one final note is, I think this is a perfect advice, and you should follow it. If you see one of the brands start to break out, that might be the time then to formalize and get its own LLC and its own seller account, because ultimately you want to have brand equity in whatever you're building.
Right.
And it's sometimes more clean to have those in separate things. You know, attorneys, accountants, all the people who like that stuff, they like it that way. But I definitely would stay simple now. These guys are dead on right as far as I'm concerned.
One more thing I'll say is, I've made the mistake of trying to build out some industrial thing so many times, thinking I'm going to build this great scalable system from the very beginning, and yet it's such a waste of time. It's been for me, it's such a waste of time and energy and money when it never even went there, or I changed direction. So I say keep things simple as long as you can, and let the momentum force, you know, changing things.
Thank you.
All right, we'll jump over here.
Hi, I'm Catherine from California, and this really is more scary than it seems. Thank you all for being here. My question is very much similar to the gentleman's that just spoke. I have a product, okay, I have a brand that I want to use. I love it, I'm excited about it, but it doesn't fit the product that I have. And it isn't it isn't even in the area of my passion, but I think it's a good product. And I don't know if I want to put my brand name on that product and then put my brand name on the products that I really want to sell. So I don't know what to do. If I should go back and look for a product in the area that I'm interested in, or I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I would say, well, for one, if you guys are deciding between brand A, brand B, again, you can have multiple brands inside the seller account. Maybe just rename the name of the seller account so it'd be more generic. You know, sold by, you know, online, whatever, you know, the name of the store. But definitely pick the product that it doesn't have to be something new. I mean, for me personally, it's not something I'm passionate about. That it just the numbers make sense, and that it's not a lot of competition. I can get the reviews. I can get the right margins. So just because I'm passionate about, I may not be able to source it at the right price, or I may not be able to get that many reviews. So again, it's really about getting traction on your first product and really building up that cash flow so you can move into something that you're really passionate about.
I would just add that don't overthink it. It doesn't really matter. I've changed brand names multiple times over years. This is not a high-stakes poker game. You don't have one hand at the table. Do whatever feels right, whatever is sensible, whatever is simple to execute. And the guys have talked about this, but I have a big belief in just fail fast. Just go, go, go. The people who search for perfection, you know, that perfection's the enemy of good, right? You'll never get anywhere if you just try to be perfect. So just do whatever feels right. People don't care as much about the brand as you do today. Long term, it'll matter. But believe me, today the stakes are low. Do whatever feels right and comfortable and just go.
So should I call it something else?
Again, sure, call it something else, yeah.
All right.
All right, so I know this guy. Brian.
Brian.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, Brian Klecker, ASM1, and I want to thank you guys for another great event, and especially the staff that behind the scenes that makes this all happen. I know a lot of them, they're wonderful people. Anyway, my quick question is it's a love-hate relationship with Amazon, so we love it, but one of the things that's driving me crazy now that I'm selling more is that even though I have repackaging turned off, and it says right on the product, cannot be resold, things like that. Amazon loves to take products that are returned from a customer, even when they say it's defective, even if it's not, but even if they say it is, and they put it right back into sellable inventory, resell it. The next customer gets it, says it's been used, whatever. Amazon says, you've been selling used product. We're going to shut down your listing for a while. Solutions to that problem. I have not found one yet.
And you said you have it turned off where they, put it
Yeah,
back in the stock?
repackaging is turned off, but repackaging only works if Amazon, the guy that is putting it back in the inventory, says, your packaging looks like crap, and you have packaging turned off, they won't put it back in the inventory. But if it comes back and the customer's cleaned it up and put it back in the package nicely, frequently, Amazon will put it back in inventory.
So more often than not, Amazon takes down at the SKU level. So if this is happening consistently with you, what you could do is split your inventory, send it to one SKU, and then send it to another SKU, FN SKU, and then turn one off, and just sell through the other one. And if that one gets taken down for that exact complaint, they'll actually take it down at the SKU level, at the FN SKU level, and then just turn the other one on, and then you'd just be back up and running again.
So are you saying have the same product with multiple SKUs?
Yeah. So you can do multiple SKUs on the same ASIN. You just can't have two offers at the same exact time. So turn one offer off, one offer on. If this offer gets taken down for that reason, you can turn the other offer on, and you'd be back up and running.
That's sneaky.
Nice, I like that.
Jeff@amazon.com.
All right, if nobody's got anything else, I will go over here.
Hi, thank you for being here. You guys are amazing. I noticed that most successful people are men. So, the richest person is a guy, and you guys are all their guys. So my question is, in your personal opinion, what do you have that maybe we don't have and that we could have it so we can become successful like you?
So for me, I have a good woman behind the scenes. Like my wife, yeah, give it up. If it wasn't for her, I'd work 24 hours a day. I'd be, crying with the pain. Like, it'd be horrible. Like, she keeps me in check. She keeps everything moving. So she sees when I'm stressed, and she will, kind of make me take time off and all that. And it really does wonders because it clears my head. I come back more focused, and I'm ready to hit it harder. But for me, like, she's behind the scenes, and that's how it is for me. So.
If it wasn't for my wife, I would not even eat. Like I have to be reminded by 2 p.m. to eat breakfast. But kind of to directly answer your question, I think anyone can do this. It's really about passion, and certain people, male or female, are passionate about different things. So if you're really passionate about this business, there's no reason you can't succeed. It's an online business. No one can judge you from afar. You're behind a computer, so you can definitely succeed at this.
Yeah, and just one little footnote. I know many women who are 8-figure sellers and extraordinary business people. And I think the only difference is timing, right? If you didn't have access to this 4 or 5, 6 years ago, you just didn't have the time to get going. Believe me, in 5 years, it could be all women up here. Believe me, no problem.
Also one thing to keep in mind, Eric Routman's one of our mentors. He's one of our 2 male mentors. All the rest are women, and they're all incredibly successful, too.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll just say that we try to only hire the best employees we possibly can, and people have been telling us we've been discriminating lately because 80% of our employees are all women, and they're just literally the best ones that come and interview, and it just somehow worked out that way. So it's very... certainly no truth to anything about the men or male-female thing going on here.
Cool.
Yeah, just real quickly, it's, I think, worldview. There's a lot of women. There's a lot of women that are doing very, very well in this business. So don't feel that you're alone, because there are a lot of company for you.
Yep, for sure. All right, we'll go over here.
Thank you so much for being here. My question is, earlier you talked about finding the right product. What is your specific strategy and process for finding the right product?
I don't know about the right product. I think you want a product which meets a couple qualifications. It needs to be something that you think you can gain buyer preference in that market. So if you see someone else out there that's really knocking it out of the park, they got thousands of reviews that look legitimate reviews. I mean, they look like they're a great product. You've kind of looked at how they do things. Maybe you've ordered their product, you've checked out their inserts. You can kind of learn from what they're doing, and you can ask yourself, can I do better than that? Can I really be someone that can compete with them at their level? I want to see if I can gain buyer preference with my product. And of course, the numbers have to make sense. It has to have the income that you want for the whatever goal that you've got for your business. So I think I kind of look at it that way. You don't want to go into and just get a product that just want to throw something up there and see how it goes, unless you're thinking of it like maybe as a learning experience. If you're looking really for the perfect product, think about buyer preference. Can you gain the buyer preference in the marketplace that you're going into?
We'll jump over here.
Okay, hi. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge. I have a question. I launched 2 products like in the same category in January, and they're really not selling that well, maybe 1 or 2 a day total. And so I feel like I need to relaunch to rank for the keywords. But so my question is, like, if I relaunch and then I run out of stock and then basically I just lost all my money on that whole order, then I have to reinvest on a new order. And it's like, I want to be fearless and like do what I need to do, right? But also it's like, at what point do I know to cut that and roll with maybe a different product or like a different, yeah, that's my question.
Now I just forgot what I was going to say, so go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so it sounds like you have limited inventory, and if you launch yourself up the top and you begin to get momentum, you're going to run out of inventory.
Yeah.
Right? So I would maybe not go after that keyword.
Okay.
That's probably up here. I go down a little down here, maybe the 10th, 11th, or 12th best keyword.
Okay.
Something that's going to get you, 10, 20 sales a day, maybe not 100 sales a day. That way, you can get that momentum going, get those organic sales going, and give you a little bit of breathing room in terms of cash flow to order that product. So my recommendation was choose something much lower down on the list in terms of traffic.
Yeah, like they were showing the other day, work with the long tail first and then mid tail and then go after those broad generic. If you go after those broad generic, it's going to be too hard right out the gate. So, start with the long tail and then, you'll snowball that into the bigger ones like that. And you'll kind of see it start picking up and taking off, and you can order before you run out and that kind of thing.
Yeah, go ahead. There's a great answer. But just to cap in, what part of your question was, how do you know when to cut the product and whether or not to relaunch? And sometimes it's just a gut feel, right? Obviously, if you keep trying things, you're following a launch strategy, you're driving everything you can in terms of traffic, sponsored products, et cetera, to it, and it's not working. And then you turn the trash into cash however you can and move on. But if you haven't really done the full process of driving traffic to it and getting the reviews and following the basics, then start again and make sure that you follow the full process. And then if you do run out of stock, I don't know if these guys would agree, but I think the kind of the trick to not lose full momentum on the listing is to close the listing until you're back in stock, and that preserves more of the equity of your position. And then when you're back in stock, you reopen the listing without kind of all the negative position that you had because you were out of stock on that item. It's a subtle thing, but I don't know if you guys agree.
Yep.
Alrighty, cool. Jump over here.
Hi, my name is Liana Lin. Gosh, I'm so nervous. My question is, due to my low MOQ, so I spoke to the manufacturer and I didn't get the logo on my product. So what she suggested is to do a stick-on the product. So, and then it was holiday, Chinese holiday. So I ordered a stick-on to apply on my product, the logo stick-on, but then I realized I did not like it. So, but my product has been shipped like 4 days ago, and it will be launched on Friday. In the Amazon listing, I did the images. It has a logo on it. So, but the existing product didn't have it. So, would I change the whole pictures, or I just have it like that?
Yeah, I would just change the picture out and then, go back to the old one if you want to go back to that one down the road. Like he said, he changes it 15 times. So you can make tweaks. You could always improve on the packaging and the images and all that. So yeah, I would just remove that image for now.
Okay, so remove everything. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing to that. So your product doesn't have a logo on it at all?
No, I removed that stick-on.
Gotcha. I mean, You remove the sticker.
Yeah, because the first one, when I ordered the stick-on and I put it in the product, I did not like it.
So you took it off.
So I took it off.
So it's nothing on it.
No.
Okay. Well, it's kind of inviting hijackers because it's not branded. So I would just be really cautious of that.
Okay.
And don't continue to do that
Okay.
because then anyone could say that, oh, that's my product because it has no brand on it.
Okay. But I forgot, in the box, I put the stick-on in the box and I have an insert that says my logo on it. So is that enough? And then just remove it on the product.
Yeah, it's definitely good to start with.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, we.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Aslan Suleiman. I'm from Syria. I live in Washington, D.C. My question is it okay if I add multiple products, like same product, but under same brand, but has different design and different metal each one, but it do same exact function? So is it okay to do this, and what are the pros and cons if I do this?
So to clarify, it's very similar product.
Yeah, exactly.
But they are different products.
Exact same product, but different design, different colors, different metals.
Yeah.
But you have like multiple of them, you know?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Are you selling them as two different branded products, or are they just variants on the same page?
No, same. I haven't sold it yet. I joined February, like 2 months ago. And I'm just thinking of this strategy, if it's good or not, if it's gonna work or not. Is there any benefit of doing this, or it's gonna affect it like in a negative way or not? Yeah.
I would just say, it's essentially you're talking about just variations, right? These are children items to the parent item, baby SKUs to the master SKU, however you think about it, baby parent. It's common to have those things. As long as it's, product with different colors or product with different sizes or both, that's normal. And I think in general, it's a good experience for the consumer to have that choice on one SKU. I would be careful of it. Don't try, in my opinion, to bid on all of those baby SKUs for sponsored products. Just kind of pick a winner and focus your sponsored products on one of those SKUs, one ASIN.
So each of one product is gonna be from different supplier.
Yeah, that don't matter with that, so it'll be good.
Oh.
Yeah, I would agree with all that. I would also just add, what we were talking about before, keep it simple. So if you don't have the product launched yet, don't overcomplicate in the beginning, right? Because you're at that point, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I would just say, like we were talking about before, focus first on getting the first product up and selling. Know that it's possible to do what you want to do going forward.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Angela from Toronto. Thanks so much for sharing your knowledge. I just had a question. When you made your first million annually, I just wondering how many parent ASINs you have and how many ASINs you have now, parent ASINs.
So our first was 3 SKUs got us to $1 million, and it was actually 1 SKU that kind of took us there. And then after that, we got about 50 right now, but we have 7, 8 brands total. So
I think we had about 6 at that point for the first million.
Yeah, I mean, our first one was kind of a winner, so we had 1 SKU, but we have 50 SKUs now.
Yeah, my first one was 36 SKUs and only about 2 children variations on that.
yeah.
So essentially, there's no common pattern.
There is no pattern, yeah. I think, I probably had a SKU or 2 that did $1 million plus each a year, but we roll quick, and at times we have hundreds, so just depends.
Okay,
Doesn't matter, though. Just start however you start.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right.
Hi, this is Jack from San Francisco. I really appreciate you guys coming up here and being an example for all of us. So thank you so much for all the answers. Oh, by the way, thanks, Steve. I talked to him off stage as well. So one thing you guys talked about a lot is focus and sort of some of the things that you guys went into were like pulling lever and what are the buttons to press. And I was wondering, for not only for me but all the people downstage, what are some of the favorite tips, or just maybe one favorite tip for filtering out suppliers specifically? So that's really a key thing in sourcing that we probably all have a little bit of questions about. And then what's one favorite tip for launching? So just pretend you have your own slides up here. What would be the one key thing you want to talk about within 20 minutes? No, I'm just kidding. A few seconds.
I don't know if you're talking about, sourcing from China or whatnot, but I would say that one of the biggest things that's helped my success is developing a really close relationship with my contract manufacturer. Really over the years, I say spending time with the owner, getting to know the management team, really traveling there and having them come visit you. The more that you get closer with them, the more they want to support your business. And then you start getting incredible terms to keep growing your business more than you ever could. So I would say that's probably the number one supplier tip I could give you. And product launch, I say having a mailing list is so helpful for a product launch. So I would work on that.
Yeah, so, for a supplier tip, find someone that you're comfortable with. If you have that, and trust your gut. If you have that uneasy feeling with them, then, move on, try to find another one. But like I said, you want that relationship. You want to be comfortable with them. You're going to be spending a lot of money with them. So, get that relationship building. And again, building your launch list, there's no other valuable tool, that you could do out there. So build that list.
Is it specifically to like the customer list that you currently have, or Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook, email, messenger bot, however you can build it. There's no right or wrong way. As long as you have a list, you can launch to them over and over and over.
Thanks.
Yeah, as far as communication, I think that's one of the key things when you're first looking suppliers and vetting them. I like to look at how quickly they respond and how well they respond to what I'm actually asking, not what they want to talk about. That to me has been a fairly reliable indicator of what kind of experience I'm going to have when I'm actually spending money with them. So I think that's really, really key. And then once you get somebody that you work with, just like you said, I talk with one of our contract manufacturers pretty much every day. We're emailing back and forth about different things. Develop that relationship so that when things happen that are out of your control, where you need them to go a little above and beyond for you, they're willing to do that. I think it's really important. And as far as launch process, obviously building a list as this is really much the thing we all keep saying again, because it is very important. Once you've gotten that first product and you start getting a list of people to relaunch to, it's real important. If you don't have that yet, then I think it's pretty much what Mike has talked about in his first presentation, just diverse traffic sources. Sales is really the key, right? So as many sales as you can do from diverse traffic sources is really, there's no secret sauce really beyond that. There's maybe tactics that will change next week or next month, but it really comes down to that as a strategy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'll just give you one tip. Actually, Jack already got this tip, so I'll give it to you guys. So number one, they've already answered the launch question, but I've been sourcing in China for 15 plus years, thousands and thousands of containers. But if you guys haven't done China or business in China, if you don't understand the culture, if you don't understand what you're dealing with, read the book Poorly Made in China. And by the way, Paul Midler, brilliant guy, but that encapsulates 15 years of my pain in that book in humorous stories. It's quite striking and hard to hear for me, but you really need to understand how to deal with China and to be on even level playing field with them. They're great. I love it. I have a great China team. I love the Chinese people and the culture. But you got to know that there are professional traders. And if you're not a professional trader, then they're going to win. And you at least want to be even with them.
All right. Last one over here.
Hi, my name is Shad. I'm a graduate of ASM 5. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are truly inspiring to all of us. So my question, you talked a little bit about sort of keyword research and how you use that to differentiate and find new products. Can you speak a little bit to some of the strategies to find the right keywords?
Seller.tools. That's not a paid advertisement. No, really, you should check it out.
So for me, it's all about what the product is. You know, you need to be really specific about what your product is. If you're going after those broad terms, it's going to be too hard. You know, you're going to get you might get a lot of traffic, but they might not convert. You know, if you drill it down to exactly what your product is, what it does, you have a higher chance of those conversions. So that's where I'd focus. I'd drill those down, get your top 10, 20, whatever it does like that, and start there before you go branch out.
Yeah, and as Tony Robbins likes to say, success leaves clues. Right, so if you're looking at your competitors, they've got keywords on their listing. You know, you can analyze what they're doing, either using a great tool like Seller Tools. We use it as well. You know, it's find either a great tool, or you can just yourself do it manually. Analyze the top sellers in the category you want to go after. Maybe you don't target the most competitive one first, and you target one that's a little bit more long tail than that. But the information is freely available to us on Amazon, and it's really incredible now that you can do this.
Thank you.
All right.
Just one little piece. It's definitely about the keywords. I mean, keywords is visibility, and choosing the right keywords with the right traffic. That's really relevant to your product. And again, try not to go too aggressive if you don't have the money way at the top. You know, go lower down. Choose a product that has less competing products. And when you combine that with like AMS ads, PDA ads, ASP ads, and just giveaways, they all have this compounding effect. That reinforce and tell Amazon that I am relevant for this keyword, so move me the heck up. And you just keep doing that. So take your budget and really focus on a long tail keyword to get that cash going.
Since they're not going to say it, I'll give Brendan the shameless plug. He's actually built a tool. He's a freaking keyword machine. Met him in St. Lucia, and he kind of gave a lot of good information there and strategies. Does a lot of research around keywords, and they've just come out with a tool that's seller.tools. Seller.tools. So check it out if you're interested in keyword research. That's the big feature of it. So thanks for coming up here. But it's a great tool. That's what DP was talking about. Cool. So that's it for this 8-figure panel, and that's it for the main content portion of SellerCon. We got a few things coming, but let's give them a huge hand. Thank you. So in closing, we've had an amazing 3 full days here. At first, it was kind of day 1. We're into day 1. We're like, man, day 2 was long. We're like, oh crap, this is just day 1. And so now we're here 3 days later. Now it feels like it just flew by. It's been an amazing time, and hopefully you all agree. But when you get back, something to keep in mind is you're kind of going to be hit with that big stick called reality. And so what I want you to do is not forget the experience that you had here, not forget what you learned, not forget the stories and motivation that you got, because that's what's going to keep you going whenever things get tough. So remember your experience here. When you get back home, knowing inevitably you're going to start facing problems, some things, supplier may mess something up, you may have some distraction going on in your life, or who knows what. Remember your experience here, and that's what's going to keep you going.
And anytime you have a problem, imagine how much further ahead you'll be once you get past that hurdle. You're further along than someone else who gets to that point, and they're going to give up. 9 out of 10 people are going to give up when they reach a problem. You want to be that one person who gets past that. Because one thing that's very clear here, and then it's been reinforced so many times again and again when I'm talking to people, the opportunities that are available to all of us in this room right now and everyone watching, they're limitless. That's my theme for 2018, limitless. And I know for everyone here, that's what your future holds for you. There's no limits, no bars, no ceilings. Your opportunity is limitless.
Yep, absolutely. So we're going to end this thing on the highest note possible. Let me get one more show of hands, and everyone should raise their hands on one of these answers. Who has been to one of our live events before? And who has, this is their first one? Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. All right, everyone stand up. Stand up. So, there's a video put out there that we brought up, a few years back by Will Smith, actually. He's got some great material in there. And, one of the things he says that I never have a plan B because it distracts me from plan A. And so people here in this room, you may be working a job, you may have something else going on in your life that supports your income, you may have another business or something like that, but this is your plan A. Building your business, otherwise you wouldn't have come here. Like Mike said, the opportunity is limitless. You can accomplish anything with this business as long as you don't give up, you keep implementing, you take everything you learned here, and you apply it to yourself and your life. So we've got a saying around here called no plan B. And we just don't put it on t-shirts because of political ramifications, but we like to say it in the room anyways. So on the count of 3, we're going to yell as loud as we can, no plan B, so we freak out everyone else in the hotel. 1, 2, 3. No plan B! One more time. 1, 2, 3. No plan B! Awesome, thank you. Let's go ahead and cue the video. Thank you, everybody. You've been awesome. We'll see you next time.
See you in Amsterdam.